We have an incredible evening for you tonight, and we hope you've been enjoying our 5-night-a-week program, and we certainly have as well. We have a really special show tonight because we have a guest, somebody who's been a hero of mine for a long time, and an incredible musician, a guy called Sam Amidon. And if you don't know him already, you're going to be a fan too. He's releasing his album, his 5th album, this Friday. So we're going to be talking about that and playing some tunes from the record. But before we do that, we're going to play some tunes. Remember to check the links below this video to find out about how you can donate and help keep us going, support Kansas Smitties. We have a Patreon, which gets you access to the full archive of these concerts, and we have a one-off donation button if you just want to tip the band. This is the Hesitation Blues. Dear old Southland, dear old Southland. Joe Webb on the piano. Will Sach on the bass. Jas Kayser on the drums. And as we said to you before, we have a very special guest tonight. His name is Sam Amidon. But before he comes to the stage to knock us all out, we have to acknowledge that there's a birthday in the house, and that's Mr. Jelly Roll Morton. And Joe called me today and he said, it's Jelly Roll's birthday, we have to do something, because otherwise he might be offended. You know how he gets, you know.
He was livid last year.
So this is The Pearls. That's Joe Webb on the piano. Joe Webb on all the keys, even the ones that don't work. And now we've arrived at the point in the show where we get to introduce our very special guest. And this is kind of the first time we've done this live, so it's kind of exciting and new and different. I feel so alive. So please give it up for Mr. Sam Amidon, the one and only. And before we hand over to Sam, I just want to tell you thank you so much for tuning in and for checking out these shows that we're doing 5 nights a week, Tuesday to Saturday, from our new Memrise headquarters. And we still need your help, whatever you can do, even if that's just telling a friend and spreading the word. We have links below this video to our Patreon page and to a donation button where you can show us how much you love it. And you all love it, right? If you want to join the studio audience, check our link tree in our bio on Instagram. It's like a treasure hunt every time you tell somebody where to find something online. It's like, open up this platform at 6 p.m., click the link, and wait for 3 seconds. Then, input your name, date of birth, favorite color. Anyway, if you want to join the studio audience, you can be like these cool people. But if you're happier watching at home, you can do that too. This is Sam Amidon.
Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county jail. Another man done gone. He wore a long chain on. Wore a long chain on. He wore a long chain on, wore a long chain on, wore a long chain on. He killed another man, killed another man. He killed another man, killed another man, killed another man. I don't know where he's gone, don't know where he's gone. I don't know where he's gone, don't know where he's gone, don't know where he's gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county jail. Another man done gone. Thank you.
Beautiful, man. We're going to put some stools out.
Oh, great.
You can sit on that one.
Okay, I'll sit over here.
If you want. Thanks, Crepes. So, am I here? I'm here. Sam Amidon. Give it up for Sam Amidon.
Thank you.
So we have a few mutual friends, one of whom I was talking to about music at one point, and I said, I'm really into this guy called Sam Amidon. He was like, I was like, yeah, he's like, oh, he lives in London, right? I was like, what? So here we are,
Here we are.
It's great to have you down here. We tried to get you down to the bar before everything kicked off, but I think actually, all things considered, I'm enjoying this just fine.
Here we are.
So the new album is really cool. I listened to it and I read the song titles first, and I recognized a lot of them, and I wanted to ask you what the kind of idea is, by taking all of these older songs and kind of reinventing them.
Well, it's sort of become a bit of a habit in the last few years, over the years. But it originally happened somewhat accidentally. I grew up around a lot of folk music, and then I moved to New York in my late teenage years for college, and to kind of get away from that folk music and to go towards some of the music that I had only experienced on CDs as a teenager, which was things like free jazz and Arto Lindsay and Yola Tango, various groups and experimental music that I had only seen in this magical world of what was at the CD store. And for me, folk music was what was all around in terms of people playing, which was beautiful. But I came to New York to sort of get to this other stuff. And there was a club called Tonic at the time that I went to about 4 or 5 nights a week. And people like Charlie Burnham, the violin player, or just so many great musicians. And but I didn't really know how I was going to contribute to that music, because I played fiddle, and but I think because I was so deeply connected as a fiddle player to the traditional fiddle styles, that I did some improvising on it, but it wasn't really. It was just so attached to that it was hard for me to do something else with that intensity of that background. And what ended up happening was I thought, well, maybe I'll learn guitar and try and do that. And as part of learning guitar, I started learning some folk songs, and also started kind of writing odd little guitar parts. And then there was a year where I was sort of home alone a lot, and I started kind of lonely, and I felt like my friends, were figuring out how to navigate the music world in New York, and I just wasn't. And I was home, and I had this year of just, coming up with these melodies or singing the melodies of these folk songs that were bringing me a lot of comfort at that time, over these different kind of guitar parts. And really it was very accidental. And then I found that those guitar parts were kind of open enough and simple enough, but had a little twist in them, that they were really a great platform for musicians that I encountered that I loved to interact with, whether it was people doing orchestral arrangements like Nico Muley, or more improvising type people. So that's very pocket history. Yeah. But it was really this very accidental thing, but I love the songs, and I love experimental exploration through any form,
Yeah. Well, I was the songs themselves, a lot of them are kind of traditional English. Well, some of them are, at least the ones that we're going to play, kind of traditional English ballads that have been kind of mutated into a very kind of expanded texture, which is
yeah. I think on this album I've learned all of them from American sources, and that is that deep fact of American folk music, is that a lot of these ballads and stories and melodies and fiddle tunes and instruments like the fiddle are made their way over from England and the British Isles and Ireland, and but the fundamental encounter was then with the black music influence and with black musicians, and then turning the fiddle into this completely different instrument, and the banjo obviously, and all the deep ballads that emerged from that tradition. So I would have learned them from like the Appalachian source, but it was one of the amazing things is a lot of these stories have versions that are found hundreds of years earlier.
Well, I was wondering about that. You come from Vermont, which is close to where I grew up as well, and I wondered if do you make your records in England, or you make your records in the States?
I think I've mostly I've done them in different Iceland and London, and sometimes a bit the States.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have to kind of imagine? Do you have to get everybody in the Vermont mindset? Do you kind of like get out the maple syrup and like say, okay, everybody do their hit,
eat some
shot of maple syrup,
eat some pancakes, maple syrup. Absolutely, go for a walk in the woods. Pretend you're in Vermont. Yeah, no, I mean, the music, the albums have all just been this social space of where we are in the time. And of course, I didn't, New England, it is the very tip of the Appalachian Mountains. I think do just about reach to Vermont. But, a lot of the songs I'm singing are, come from all over the place. And although there is a tradition called sacred harp singing or shape note singing, which originated, it's sort of a folk hymn singing style. It's totally wild. And that did originate, in New England and then moved south and survives in the South, but is now sung, all over the place.
And so does that factor in that's a choral music, isn't it? Does that factor
it's
into
like a folk choral music?
Okay, right. Does that factor into the album as well?
The song there's a couple strewn throughout my various records, and on this album, it's a song called Hallelujah, which is one of the real classic sacred harp songs. And in the sacred harp tradition, it's cool because it's 3 and 4 part harmony, but it was being written by people who had no musical training. So it's this, and they had a real folk ear. And so it's this very raw harmonies, often no third, just this very open harmony. And to me, it is a predecessor to like drone minimalism of the 60s and 70s, or even like the way Kurt Cobain sings is very sacred harp. So it's very raw, intense, loud music. Like if you look it up, to see an example. So, but the melodies are so beautiful. And so on my albums, I've taken occasionally, and in the case of this song Hallelujah, a melody and then just taken it away from that harmonic space and put it into a different musical context.
So I have a question about all of the instruments that are at our feet. And I wonder when you're kind of conceiving of an arrangement to go in with a band, do the different, there's a fiddle for people who can, I don't know if you can get that, fiddle, banjo, guitar, and do the different sounds of these instruments inspire you in terms of how you're going to take the song forward? Like when we're doing Pretty Polly, is that just a banjo song because it was a banjo song, or is
that one? Usually there's two possibilities. I mean, sometimes I just hear the song and I feel like it could work. It just feels good to sing it close to the original arrangement. And like Cuckoo Bird, which we're doing, is pretty. I've changed it. That's the one on the banjo. I've changed that a little bit for us here, but it's not that much. I'm doing it pretty close to like the Clarence Ashley straight style. Whereas Pretty Polly is a totally new guitar part, and I've taken this is the same melody, but it's in very, very different musical context. So usually in that case, the guitar parts come first. Like I'll write the guitar parts, and even like the melody we hum and play together. That's something that came before I knew what song would go on top. That was just a piece. And so that's often the kind of collage quality of it. Is it'll start with these it'll start with little pieces, miniature pieces of music on the guitar, and then I'll sort of be casting around in the back of my mind for a song that might go on top. And then that will shift it again, because maybe that melody will need to be changed to work, or maybe the arrangement needs, the guitar part needs to move somewhere if the song goes somewhere else. So and again on this album, like a couple of the others, there's a song called Spanish Merchant's Daughter, which is, by the time I was done with it, there was none of the original music left. It's just the words are left and the music wasn't all mine. Whereas in the case of something like Cuckoo Bird, it's again it's much closer, just because the vibe is right already, and seemed to work. And what the other musicians were bringing seemed to be enough of a new energy.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask one more question, and then we're going to get the band up and do some more stuff. But the subject matter of these songs, maybe this is going to be a long question, but I don't care. I want to ask you anyway. So, I love a lot of blues music, and I always think of the blues as, if you wanted to distill it down, you could say it's a sad song that helps you feel better. You can. It's so many different forms and so many different sentiments and so many things that it can be. And I hear a lot of that in things like Cuckoo Bird and a lot of the songs that you're singing. And I wonder how you interpret a lot of these songs have really somber subject matter. I mean, the two that we're going to do, yes. Pretty Polly and Cuckoo Bird are, well, maybe you can talk about what they mean and how you interpret them.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pretty Polly is a murder ballad. Short Life, which we're going to start, is sort of a lovesick, song. Cuckoo Bird is sort of a bit more of a nonsense song kind of lyrics. In my version, there's other versions that I think have sinister elements. But yeah, many of these folk songs are, there's a huge array of murder ballads, and some of, and as well as just songs about people dying, or facing death, or spiritual songs, and obviously, and then of course the whole full other range of just a song about a groundhog, or a song about hunting, or a song about cooking food. Like it's like the whole gamut of life. And I guess that's what I love about traditional songs is, and especially in terms of the element of the darker ones, I feel like traditional songs are it's like the subconscious of our past, and it's this window into the emotional world and the subconscious world of people who are long gone, and yet to connect with that is very powerful.
Wonderful. Sam Amidon, everybody. So we are going to bring the band back together, Jake and Elwood and Jas and everybody. Will Sach, Joe Webb. And what's this first one we're going to play? We're going to play, and is this one of yours? Is this?
It's the same hybrid situation.
Great.
The music is mine, the words are definitely Thomas.
Wonderful. This is called Short Life.
A short life of trouble, a few more days of woe. Short life of trouble, a few more days, a few more days. Knew what you promised. It's been some time ago. Promised you would marry me, standing on the ballroom floor. Short life of trouble. Few more days, a few more short life of trouble. See the train a-coming, coming by the station now. I'd rather be dead or in my grave than to see my darling go. Short life of trouble, few more days, a few more short life of trouble, a few more days. Do the cuckoo bird. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. She warbles as she flies. She never sings cuckoo till the 4th of July. I built myself a cabin in the mountains so high. I'll watch my cousin Willie as he passes by. I played cards in England. I played cards in Spain. I'll bet you $5 I'll beat you this game. Corn whiskey, I've known you from old. You stop my money on whiskey and gold. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. She warbles as she flies. She never sings cuckoo till the 4th of July. Yeah, dudes.
That's a good time to say a couple words. It's a good time to say a few words. You're watching Kansas Smitty's. You're at Kansas Smitty's. These people are at Kansas Smitty's. Please give it up for this great band. You can shout out your window at home. You can say, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Or you can say a big whoop for Joe Webb, Will Sach, Jas Kayser. My name's Giacomo Smith. And our special guest tonight is Sam Amidon. Thank you so much, Sam. Now, we will be doing this 5 nights a week for the next few weeks. So remember to tune in. And also remember to check the links below this video to find out how you can support what we're doing here and keep these nights going on. We know you're enjoying them because otherwise you wouldn't be watching. So thank you so much. What's this last one again?
Pretty Polly.
This is Pretty Polly. Sam Amidon's record is out this Friday on Nonesuch Records, and you can just order it.
That's right.
Or you could just call him and he'll play it to you on the phone.
Yes, I do that. It's a service.
Yes.
Is there anything these days?
Pretty Polly, come go along with me. Polly, pretty Polly, come go along with me. Before we get married, some pleasure to see. She got up behind him and away they did ride. Got up behind him and away they did ride. Over the hills, through the valley so wide. They rode through the mountains and valleys so deep. Rode through the mountains and valleys so deep. Pretty Polly, she began to weep. Da 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 da. Oh Willie, I'm afeard of your ways. Willie, oh Willie, I'm afeard of your ways. Your mind is to ramble and lead me astray. Pretty Polly, you're guessing about right. Pretty Polly, you're guessing about right. I dug all your grave 2/3 of last night. Da 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 little further, and what did they spy? Rode up a little further, and what did they spy? A newly dug grave and a spade lying by. He stabbed her through the heart, her heart's blood it did flow. Stabbed her through the heart, her heart's blood it did flow. And to the grave, pretty Polly did go. Threw something over her, turned to go home. Threw something over her and it turned to go home, leaving nothing behind but pretty Polly to moan. Da 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 da. Thank you.
Please give it up again for Sam Amidon, Will Sach, Joe Webb, Jas Kayser. My name's Giacomo Smith. Sam Amidon's record is out on Nonesuch this Friday. Check it out. Thank you to our studio audience. And thank you to you at home. Remember to tune in this week and check out some more live music from Kansas Smitty. See you soon.
As I was saying.